A computer depreciates in value at a rate of $300 per year. 2 years after it was purchased, its value was $900. Find an equation that expresses the value y of the computer in terms of a number of years x since it was purchased. So we want, in our ordered pairs, we want to have first the x, the number of years, and then we want the value of the computer. We know that 2 years after it was purchased, the value was $900. So this line will go through the point to 900. Now, what's the meaning of a computer depreciates in value at a rate of $300 per year? Dollars per year, that's a rate. Our value is measured in dollars over years. That's the change in the value over the change in time, the change in years. That's a slope. So the slope of our equation, it's depreciating. That means it's going down by $300 each year, and that's our slope. So our equation needs a slope of minus 300. It needs to go through the point to 900. We can use our point slope formula. So we have y minus 900 equals our slope, negative 300, times x minus 2. Y minus 900, negative 300, plus 600. That should be negative 300x. We don't want that 900 there. Let's add 900 to both sides. So negative 300x plus 1,500. That's our equation. I want to make a table because I want to figure out what scales, what numbers to put on this graph. If we let x be 0, y is 1,500. If we let x be 1, y is 1,200. We already know that if x is 2, y is 900. And if x is 3, we get 600. 4, it's going down by 300 every year. 300. And then 5, 0. So we want our x values. We're going to graph years, time, on the horizontal axis. So we wanted to go from 0 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Our scale on our y-axis, we need for the values of y to go from 0 to 1,500. So we could say this is 500, 1,000, and 1,500. So it starts off at time 0, it's worth 1,500. We have 2 900. We go down to 5 0. We're in the first quadrant because it only makes sense to be talking about the number of years since you bought it. And once it's worth $0, you don't care. I don't think it's going to get any worse than that. So what is the y-intercept? We know that's the point 0, 1,500. What is the significance of the y-intercept in this situation? Number of years since you've bought it is 0. That means you just bought it, and it's worth $1,500. I bet that's how much you paid for it. You paid $1,500 for the computer. A roast is cooking in an oven. After 30 minutes, the meat thermometer reads 85 degrees Fahrenheit. After 120 minutes, the thermometer reads 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Write as a linear equation the relationship between the time x that the roast is in the oven and the temperature y of the roast. Time and then temperature. 30 minutes, it's 85 degrees. 120 minutes, it's 145 degrees. What's the equation? We have 2 points. We need to calculate the slope. 145 minus 85 over 120 minus 30. 60 over 90 that's 6/9. That's 2/3. That's the slope. Now we need to choose one of our 2 points. It doesn't matter which one. Let's choose that 30, 85. And we use our slope of 2/3. And we can find the equation using our point slope formula. So we have y minus 85 equals 2/3 times x minus 30. Y minus 85 equals 2/3 x minus 20. Add 85 to both sides. Y equals 2/3 x plus 65 degrees. That's our equation. How long will it take for the thermometer to reach 185 degrees? Y is the temperature, so we want y to be 185, and we have 2/3 x plus 65. Subtract 65 from both sides, we have 120 equals 2/3 x. Multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 2/3 by 3/2. You'll get 180 equals x. 180 minutes. That's in 3 hours. What is the slope? Our slope is 2/3. And what does it represent in this situation? The numerator is y. Y measures temperature. So it's temperature over time. And that temperature is measured in degrees over minutes. So it's the change in the temperature over the change in minutes. So every 3 minutes that roast is in the oven, the temperature goes up 2 degrees. Every 3 minutes that the roast is in the oven, the temperature will go up by 2 degrees. What is the y-intercept, and what does it represent in this situation? The y-intercept, we know from the equation, is 0, 65. Remember, 0, that's 0 minutes. 65 is 65 degrees. So at 0 minutes, the temperature is 65 degrees. At 0 minutes, the roast is 65 degrees when you put it in the oven. Recall x equals a is a vertical line with undefined slope, and y equals b is a horizontal line with slope 0. Find an equation of the line with the following characteristics. A line that passes through the points 0, -3, and 6, 5. We have 2 points, and whenever we have 2 points, one thing that we can calculate is the slope. So let's calculate the slope. Let's calculate the change in y, 5 minus the -3, over the change in x, 6 minus 0. Our slope is 8 over 6, 4 over 3. We can use our point slope if we want to, but 0, -3, what point is that? What's the significance of that point? That's the point 0, b. That's the y-intercept. So we can go straight to our equation, which is y equals 4/3 x plus a -3, or -3, however you want to write it. And that's our equation. How about the equation for a vertical line that passes through the point -2, 1? Let's think about a vertical line. -2, 1 could be about right here. A vertical line crosses the x-axis, so the equation is x equals -2. Vertical lines cross the x-axis, so their equation is x equals whatever that x value is. What about a line that passes through 5, 3 that is perpendicular to y equals -2x? So the slope of y equals -2x is -2. The perpendicular slope of the line perpendicular to that, perpendicular slopes are opposite reciprocals, so it will be a +1/2. The slope that we are interested in is +1/2. We can use our point slope formula if we want to, because we have a point and we have the slope. We can also just go back to our equation, y equals mx plus b, so it's 1/2 x plus b, and we can substitute the 5 and the 3 into the equation. So we have 3 equals 1/2 times 5 plus b. So we have 3 equals 2.5 plus b. And we subtract 2.5 from both sides, and we get 0.5, or 1/2, equals b. So our equation is 1/2 x plus, let's write it as 1/2. A line that passes through the points -5, -1, and -2, -10. We want to find the equation of this line. We have 2 points. Whenever we have 2 points, we know that we can calculate the slope. So let's take -10 minus a -1 over -2 minus a -5. That is -9 over -2 plus 5, 3. It's -3. So our slope is -3. Y equals -3x plus b. Choose a point. Doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm going to choose -5, -1. I'll use -1 in place of y, and -5 in place of x. -1 equals 15 plus b. we need to find b, so we're going to subtract 15 from both sides. Negative 16 equals b. So our equation is y equals negative 3x minus 16. We can always put negative 2, negative 10 into that equation to see if it works. If you substitute negative 2 in place of x, you get negative 3 times negative 2. That's positive 6. 6 minus 16 is negative 10. It works. Let's find a horizontal line that passes through the point 4, 3. So if you go right 4 and up 3, you end up about right here. We want a horizontal line. Horizontal lines cross the y-axis. Y equals, what's y? It's 3. So that's our equation. We want the line that passes through the point 6, negative 2, that is parallel to, well, there's something missing there, to y equals 4/3 x plus 7/3. So if it's parallel, it must have the same slope. So our equation will be 4/3 x plus b. What is b? We can use our point, 6, negative 2. Negative 2 equals 4/3 times 6 plus b. Negative 2 equals 8 plus b. Subtract 8 from both sides, you get negative 10 equals b. So our line is 4/3 x minus 10. What's the equation of the y-axis? We want the equation of the y-axis. It crosses the x-axis, so its equation must be x equals, and where does it cross the x-axis? At 0. What's the equation of the x-axis? It crosses the y-axis, so its equation is y equals, where does it cross it? 0. That's kind of funny, isn't it? It's sort of the opposite of what you want it to be. The equation of the y-axis is x equals 0. The equation of the x-axis is y equals 0. Let's find a line with x-intercepts 3, 0 and a y-intercept of 0, negative 4. We have 2 points. I think that we should calculate the slope. We can put those on a graph and do our rise over run, or we can use our formula. Let's get our change in y, so we have negative 4 minus 0 over a change in x, 0 minus 3. Negative 4 over a negative 3, 4/3. Honestly, it wouldn't hurt to graph. We have 3, 0, 0, negative 4. Look at that line. That line is going uphill. So the slope is positive. It makes sense that it would be 4/3. Go up by 4, over by 3. 4/3. So our equation is going to be y equals 4/3 x plus whatever the y-intercept is. Oh, it's 0, negative 4. So we can just put a negative 4 here. And we could write that if we wanted to as 4/3 x minus 4. Either one is fine. Means the same thing. And that's the end of part B.